Hey, what is up everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you here today with my top 10 superstars in WWE as of 2018. Right now we're rolling into the Backlash pay-per-view coming out of WrestleMania 34. These are like the 10 wrestlers in WWE that I believe I'm going to pay attention to what they're doing more than anything else. I might not watch Raw, I might not watch SmackDown every week, but I'm going to go out of my way to watch the YouTube clip of their match that is uploaded. I'm going to make sure that if they have a match on a pay-per-view, I'm going to be paying attention to what is going on. It could even swing me to want to watch the pay-per-view more than anything else. I'm not that big on Backlash 2018. To me, just like last year, 2017, it really looks like it's sort of a watered-down card. Maybe it's that they're coming out of WrestleMania. They should be firing on all cylinders, but it's like they're running out of gas, and they don't really know what direction a lot of these guys are going to be going. But right now, I have number 10. If I made a video, which sounds like a pretty good idea, of the people that I think will be carrying WWE in the future, that I think are, those blue chippers, as Jim Ross would call them, that are going to be, shooting stars in WWE. That would be my number one guy, and that is Chad Gable. Gable, of course, coming out of American Alpha and then teaming with Shelton Benjamin, was moved during the Superstars shakeup. As of right now, he doesn't really have anything going on. He did beat Jinder Mahal in a singles match on Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago. Is not going to be used on the upcoming pay-per-view, but I can remember the in-between American Alpha and the Shelton Benjamin deal. We had Chad Gable go out and have two really good matches. One was a match against Kevin Owens for the United States Championship, and then another one against AJ Styles for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Both of those were SmackDown matches last year, and this guy can go. I know that there's going to be questions about his size, but I really like watching this guy work. Chad Gable, number 10. Number 9 on the list, the only woman that is going to be placed on this list, and that's Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair came into WWE, and maybe it's because I based her off of her looks, or maybe what it was, but Charlotte, to me, in the last year has really won me over as a fan of her work, and I really think that the stuff that she's been doing since moving over to SmackDown, and sort of being in that I really matter, but I'm not the champion kind of role. She ended up winning the title. She ended up having a great match against Asuka at WrestleMania. I was really surprised that she won. And right out of that, she basically put over Carmella with the Money in the Bank. Now we're rolling into Backlash, and Charlotte Flair looks like she's sort of going to be playing the role that her dad did, where she's going to have to go out there, have a really good match, but more than likely make she's going to have to make Carmella look like she's $1 million right now. So I think that they want that reign to go on, and she doesn't want to go out there and really look stupid. From there, we go to number 8 on the list, which is Samoa Joe. I don't know what you really need to say about a guy like Samoa Joe. He's just that big dude on the roster. He can work anywhere on the card. I'm sure that if he's probably not going to pass the weight limit, but if he showed up on 205 Live, he is a guy that can go out there and have great matches with a lot of the guys that are on that roster right now. He did everything there was in TNA. Now he's over in WWE. He's coming off of that injury, which kept him off of WrestleMania 34. But the match against Roman is sort of just like icing on the cake. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to the storyline with them not being on the same show, and especially when Roman was challenged by Joe. It was sort of the hopes of being a WWE Universal Championship match. That did not come into play, so I don't really know why they're going with it, but I'm looking forward to seeing more stuff from here on SmackDown. From there, we go to number 7, Kevin Owens. I don't know if the him and Sami Zayn sort of storyline is coming to an end. To me, I'm hoping that it's going to be coming up sooner than later, because the Owens and Zayn still sort of pulling the same act on Raw as they did on SmackDown doesn't really make a lot of sense. Since Shane is not in charge, and Stephanie, the one who is in charge, is the one that brought them in. So maybe I guess they're feeling like they can just run around and do whatever they want to, because they got the principle of Monday Night Raw in their pocket. And they can cause anything. But to me, as that sort of heel tag team going up against these main event acts, they're not going to be winning a lot of matches. So I want to see what goes on from there. Number 6 might not win a lot of fans over or get me a lot of Christmas cards, but Roman Reigns. I honestly really do not understand why so many people hate on Roman Reigns. I think that he goes out there, he has a lot of great matches. It doesn't matter if he's in the main event or if he's in like that semi-main. He goes out there and he always really delivers. Matches against Strowman last year. He's had matches against Big Show in the past. A lot of people that, other people will go out there and have matches that just would not pan out. From there we go to John Cena. We never know. We might be seeing the last of John Cena someday sooner than later. But as of right now, he goes out there and he gives us everything there is in the world. He's always going to be a main eventer no matter where they place him on the card. This is something that's sort of been used the last few years at WrestleMania. I mean, this last year, he had the match against Undertaker that wasn't even really officially announced. Over the last few years, the matches against Bray Wyatt, the matches against Rusev, the mixed tag involving Nikki Bella, and then also having Maurice and The Miz in there. Sort of stretched that, but when Cena showed up against Roman last year at No Mercy, we all knew that it was going down and it was going to be real. Number 4 on my list is Finn Balor. I don't really think that WWE is really pushing everything to the limit with Balor. I don't know if maybe they're waiting for some sort of a heel turn, which I think is hopefully going to be happening sooner than later with the feud between Balor and Seth Rollins over the Intercontinental Championship. To me, they market so much of Finn Balor as the Demon, and for them not to pull the trigger and use that at the World's Greatest Royal Rumble or even at WrestleMania doesn't really make a lot of sense. We haven't seen it since TLC. Balor, has not had the title since SummerSlam, I believe 2, maybe even 3 years ago due to injury. But I'm hoping that that's going to change sooner than later. Number 3 on the list is more than likely possibly one of the best wrestlers that there is in the world today, AJ Styles. This guy has been killing it on SmackDown as of right now. He's been the guy who's held the championship well over the last year. He's basically carried the brand. He's carried WWE. I think he was a #1 wrestler in the PWI this year. Right now he's in the feud against Nakamura. In the past, we've seen him that match that he had against Finn Balor at TLC last year that wasn't even advertised and I think was basically put together on, the night before the pay-per-view. And on top of that, AJ had to fly from somewhere in South America just to be able to be a part of the match. AJ, one of the best there is at number 3. Number 2 on the list is going to go to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, to me, is coming back from injury. We haven't really seen him wrestle that much. But to me, I'm about to say this, and I'm about to correct myself right after I say it. But there's this mystique about Bryan. Basically, we all thought that 2 years ago his career was over, and now here he is coming back. And you've got so many people on the main roster, as well as people, in NXT, that we just hope that we're going to be able to see him have matches against, whether if that's getting to see another John Cena versus Daniel Bryan match that we've only got one of. Hell, I'd even take a Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan match, a rematch from Fastlane. Bryan against Rollins was great on the main roster. I'd even watch Daniel Bryan go up against Randy Orton again, because the feuds that they had in the past were some of the best matches that Daniel Bryan had on the main roster that sort of made him figure out the style that he was going to have to wrestle to be in the main events of WWE. So Daniel Bryan is at number 2, even though he does have the match coming up against Big Cass, which to me is not a great way to use his talents, but I'm hoping that they're going to pan that into the match that we've been waiting for over a year, which is Daniel Bryan going up against The Miz, and maybe The Miz sort of being the guy that's having Big Cass attack, and sort of the Big Cass is just doing the bidding for him. Number 1 on the list, he is not a full-time wrestler, but he is on the main roster, honestly enough, either like filling in matches or wrestling at WrestleMania, is Triple H. Triple H to me will always be the number 1 guy for me until the day he's gone. It's even hard for me to say that Triple H is my number 1 favorite wrestler over Hulk Hogan, but Hulk Hogan isn't wrestling matches these days. Until the day that Triple H, in his current role, isn't doing what Vince McMahon made famous by being that sort of commissioner, owner of WWE, the guy in charge role, where he has somebody show up and have a match against him, and Triple H just gets his ass kicked for half an hour in order for that guy to get their comeuppance and be the #1 guy in the company. I think he's going to do it. I don't think we're going to see Triple H win another match until he has some sort of a babyface turn, honestly, for a long, long time in WWE. But Triple H, you know, he showed up and delivered. It was him and Stephanie wrestling against Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle. There was a lot of eyes on that match because of Ronda Rousey coming in fresh from from UFC, making her WWE debut. And they really couldn't let her down, or her career was really going to start on the downhill, with people sort of laughing at her for jumping into WWE and not really being able to deliver to the spot that she's going to be in. You know, over the past, Triple H, every match he's ever done, you know, go back to the Attitude Era when I was buying these pay-per-views for, you know, $30 to $40 a piece. You can make the argument that people were buying those pay-per-views to see what Stone Cold Steve Austin was going to do, but normally it was the Triple H match, whether if it was the main event, whether if it was the co-main event, whether if it was just some sort of match that was thrown onto the card. The Triple H match is one of the matches that really made me feel like I got my money's worth at the end of the night for being able to see good quality wrestling that I really cared about. So that is my top 10. Hopefully you guys will deliver and make your own top 10s of favorite wrestlers in WWE.